What's up, everybody? We are live. We are here. Sean's an idiot. I swear to God, and not necessarily you yet, Dave, because you haven't done anything yet. But you guys,
I'm your wild card superstar, man.
yeah. But you guys are slowly becoming the hemorrhoids on my butt. Like Eric last week, Sean now. Like
I don't know how he forgot because we were chatting like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's in the chat. Who cares if the Bandits win? Get your ass on the show. So all right. So we are here. The Cartoon Classic continues. Second round, Batman the Animated Series versus SpongeBob SquarePants.
Let's go, Batman.
Yeah. So, of course, SpongeBob got here by defeating both Heathcliff and Garfield first, then Heathcliff. Batman hasn't competed in the single elimination tournament yet. They were the number one seed. So, and of course, SpongeBob was the last seed in the tournament. So, I am Dutchy, joined as always by Money E.
What's up?
And of course, our wild card Dave. And our doofus should be making his way into the onto the stream anytime, I think. He is in the chat room, so Sean will be with us shortly. But all right, so for anybody that is new to listening to the podcast, Eric, Sean, if he shows up, and Dave are gonna be the judges. And what it is it's basically best of 7. Your 7 categories are theme song, animation, originality and creativity, characters, episodes, humor and entertainment value, cultural impact, and legacy. So each one of them is going to get a vote. Whoever reaches 4 first wins. But first, before we do that, I'm trying to wait for Sean, but I'm, not going to do that because I want to try to end this thing by 8:00 before Saturday night's main event comes on. So a couple of announcements about the next tournament. All right. I asked a bunch of people to vote on. We came up with 8 names the other day. Sean's were horrible. So and I tried to tell him that they were horrible without telling him because I asked him 3 times. I'm like, are you sure? And then, but he wouldn't budge. So, but his were horrible. But here's what we got here's what the next 2 shows are here. So the next tournament, we're going to have 2 shows basically a week because we have a lot that we're going to get to. One will be live on Saturday and one will be pre-recorded, usually probably on Saturday, but it will be released during the week. And then so I asked people, it's like, all right, what do you think of these 8 names? They were Tuna May Afterburn, Tuna May Rampage, Cartoon Not a Death Match, The Big Show, which I did not like, those last 2. Animated Showdown, Animated or Super Animated Series, I think, or Animated Super Series or whatever it was. And then Animation All-Stars and Animated Hour of Power. Here's what the 2 shows are going to be. Here's what the name of the 2 shows are going to be. By the way, the tournament name is going to be the Animated Anarchy Series. And the 2 shows that we're going to be doing, or their names are going to be animation or animated showdown, which was one of Eric's. And then the other one is going to be called the Animated Hour of Power, which was one of mine. So I don't know how one of mine made it in, but it was
Good job, Doug.
It came down to Dave and I, and then somebody in a Discord group that I'm in, somebody voted for mine.
Good job, Doug.
Nice.
So, but yeah, so those are what the two shows are going to be called. The other announcement I was going to make, or a couple other announcements I was going to make. One of them is going to be for in the next tournament, which, by the way, so we got the information for it running down on the screen. All right. I think is this the big announcement of the next thing, or is this just hold on? Oh yeah, we're gonna do this. Okay. So the next tournament, it's gonna be we're gonna have people that run divisions. There's gonna be several cartoons in a division. All you have to do to participate is just tell us that you're in. If the cartoon that you have, if a cartoon in your division wins the whole thing, then you are, then you will win a $100 Amazon gift card. Sean, thank you for finally joining us. But so,
Hi, Sean.
yeah.
Hello.
So Sean is here. All is right with the world. And I'll quit talking crap about him.
I was watching the stream the whole time.
Yeah, I know, but
I know what you guys were saying about me.
yeah, I'd say it even if you were on. I'd say it even if you were on here. So anyway, so when you're so if you're the cartoon, one of the cartoons in your division wins it, we have all the information going down at the bottom of the screen here. You win a $100 Amazon gift card. First announcement I made, Sean, was animated showdown and animated hour of power are going to be the two show names that we have for the next tournament. So one of mine won, one of Eric's won. The reason why Eric's because Eric's name actually kind of ran away with the whole thing.
Wow.
Thanks to Dave's wife. Thanks in part to Dave's wife. So
people really liked my idea, my name.
Yeah.
Yeah, your name was popping.
Yeah.
You got the most votes.
That's also one of the things that saved you from getting fired.
I like to be creative.
Yeah.
Would have got him with the Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah. So anyway, so all right. So the show names. All right. Second announcement I was going to make is for the next tournament. What we're going to do to kind of shorten things up a little bit, because it is going to be every cartoon is going to face each other once, except for the cartoons that are in the same division. Those battles are going to come later on, and it's going to be like a big like battle royal type thing, to where we're going to do like we did the league battles for this tournament, where we have the categories and we give like a score. And then the high score gets like the one that wins it gets like a bunch of points or whatever. And it's also going to depend on what the records and how many points the cartoons have. But that's going to be later on. Also, the third announcement is we're going to start getting people to commit this week. I want to start lining people up. So, ask around, ask people if they want to do it. I mean, try to see also if you could get them to subscribe to the channel. You can get family. We can't do it. Like, we can't have divisions because we're not eligible for the gift card because you three are judging and I'm hosting. No, you can get family members to do it. That's fine. They're eligible. Because, we try not to be biased when it comes to family. I sure don't anyway. So we'll start that recruiting process tomorrow. All right, so we're gonna move on. It's Batman the Animated Series versus SpongeBob. Despite the shirt I'm wearing, which is a Batman the Animated Series shirt, I am not going to be biased. Now, to update everybody on what already is going on in the second round of the tournament, this is match number 2. Rugrats beat Rocket Power last week. Now, they came from behind and won because Rocket Power was up 3-1. But Rugrats wins it. We don't know who they're going to face yet. There is a chance that they face Batman if Batman wins.
We know who they're not facing, though.
Question. I have a question, Doug. Or
Rock Power.
Sure, go ahead.
not a question, but like a offer. For the finals, when we're doing the last one, do we change up the order of the tiers?
Of the categories?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just flip them?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, just tell me whatever you have in mind, and then I got no problem doing that.
I'm just like mix them up. Like
instead
of what is it, the longevity one? Our last one.
We can even put in
Culture and
Legacy.
Culture and Legacy.
Yeah, culture and legacy. Put that like number 3.
Okay.
Just
I'll add to that.
Huh?
I'll add to that. Why not just put it in the reminizer and let it reminize itself?
I mean, we could do that. I'm gonna do it myself because I'm in charge.
No. I mean not you. I mean you. That's what I meant. You.
I think you mean to like put it on like one of those turning wheels.
Yeah.
And then you spin it, and then once it lands on it, it erases it. But that's the category you go with.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to do that.
I think there's probably a website you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, there's a website where you can like come up with wheels and stuff, but no, we'll just flip them around. Like you can tell me what you want to. You can tell me like what order you think they should go in, and then we'll just go with that. I mean, since it was your idea.
Okay.
Mm.
Sounds good.
Eric's just like, how dare you go with his idea over mine? No,
I was trying to add to it.
Yeah. Which is a good idea. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to do Sean's part, but
that's fine.
Yeah. Or we might even just like I can even just put it like in a randomizer, and then
that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
I couldn't say it right.
Seven categories, so you can't.
Yeah,
roll
and then just put them in
on dice and roll.
On like click 5 or 10 or whatever of the randomizer. We'll just go with that. I mean, I'll do it beforehand, and then I'll just tell you like what I won't do it on air. I'll just kind of mix them up myself and
yeah.
But no, that's actually a good idea because that way, because sometimes with the with the last category, you kind of already know who's going to win.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too.
Yeah, and for a final, you kind of want it to be mixed up a little bit.
Right.
All right. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead because we've already wasted about 14 minutes, and we're gonna dive right into it. By the way, also, I'm gonna plug a couple things here. DeLorean TV on YouTube. He lost his channel about a week ago. It got taken down. He had 15,000 subscribers. He's got a new channel back up. Check that out. I use him a lot for reference. And he also helped.
Took his channel down.
Yeah. Tales from the Crypt Keeper. So I took Tales from the Crypt Keeper off the draft board because this guy is my friend. And I asked him, I said, what do you want to put on there? And I gave him a couple options, and he selected Samurai Pizza Cats because he's a big fan of that show.
Oh wow!
So we got to watch that again. Possibly wonderful. if it's drafted in somebody's division. If it's drafted in somebody's division. So But also, I want to make sure to shout out, our other channels that we have here on the Unscripted Network. Eric's Unscripted Sports Show. You can find Dave on Twitch with TCAX Godsend 95. Sean on TCAX Reaper, both on Twitch.
That's what my headline says, Doug. Read the headline.
Shut up. You were late.
I had that in there, but it wouldn't let me because it was too many characters.
Yeah. So I just want to get that out because last week I remembered to plug my buddy's YouTube channel, but then I forgot to plug all our other stuff. Also, Stabcast. Yeah, Wrestling Through the Years and Stabcast. Also give those channels a follow. But all right, we're gonna get into now the competition here, the matchup. Batman the Animated Series versus SpongeBob. Category 1 is theme song. SpongeBob's theme song has words. Batman doesn't, but Batman's got a pretty cool action sequence. Now, in later seasons, they kind of, change the name of the show sometimes to The New Adventures of Batman and Robin, but they did kind of keep the cool action sequence in there. And that's kind of a example of you really don't need words in a theme song. A cool action sequence will help. Sean, I'm going to go to you first. Whose theme song was better, Batman or SpongeBob?
I'm going to have to go with SpongeBob.
Okay.
It's more, we talk about it every time. It's iconic, very rememberable.
Yeah. All right. And also, just so you know, the head of the corporate office has said that if SpongeBob beats Batman, we are in danger of cancellation. So
sounds like a threat, and we should sue.
Yeah, well,
like,
I figure if anybody's going to screw it up, it's going to be you.
Fair enough.
So, all right, Eric.
I hate to do it. I hate it. I hate the song. It drives me nuts. But as Sean said, it's iconic. It's used as ringtones. But I'm going with, I'm not even going to say it,
All right. Folks, just so you know, this is probably going to be our last show. But as most of you that have listened to this show before, you know what you've called my co-host, so just blame it on that. All right. Dave?
I'm actually going to go with SpongeBob here as well on theme song.
All right.
This might be the only one I give.
It's kind of a hard theme song to beat.
Yeah. Oh no, I understand that. No, like it is, and I felt like that SpongeBob, because of the words and the fact that it has words, and Batman's really doesn't. It is hard to beat SpongeBob, even though, when Eric was being biased, when SpongeBob went against Garfield, he picked Garfield.
You think SpongeBob has the best?
I honestly did.
Yeah.
SpongeBob might have the best theme song in this whole tournament.
In this
tournament, I'm not going that far.
Maybe in this tournament.
Well, I kind of disagree, but all right, we're gonna go to animation quality. SpongeBob, I've always said Nickelodeon animation is the best animation. So SpongeBob, but SpongeBob also too has evolved over the years. Batman, though, with the animation and all the action sequences, their animation has always been pretty, bad. I can't really say the word badass. I'll just go ahead and say it. There's nothing wrong with saying ass. Disney does it now. So but it's basically Batman, mid 90s, but it always got better, especially because of the action sequences, and SpongeBob has kind of evolved over the years. It started out as okay, but like I said, Nickelodeon has always done animation the best. So, all right, Dave, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with SpongeBob again on this one.
All right.
The animation's a little cleaner. It looks a little like I don't know, on point. Compared to the Batman's animated series.
Okay. All right, Eric.
I'm going Batman. I just liked it better.
All right, Sean. Go ahead. Screw it up.
I'm gonna go with Batman.
Oh, all right. Well, then don't screw it up.
I just think like they're not as clean, but I don't think they have to be. Like they kind of were like grandfathered in that's just the animation that type of show should be.
Yeah.
So
I like
for
that.
sure.
I like the action more.
yeah,
It's not bad
action,
animation. I just thought
SpongeBob is clean.
It looks clean.
Very clean and very detailed, and like you said, it's from Nickelodeon, so it's going to be really good. But to me, I think Batman just stuck to its roots of what it was and didn't have to evolve that much to have people watch it.
Gotcha. All right, 1-1. Although there are a lot of people that are, a lot of people that do listen to the show, they are, also rooting for SpongeBob. They don't like the fact that Batman's going against SpongeBob. I've heard about it a couple times. It's like, how could you do that? Like, you're making me pick. And it's just like, I'm not making you do anything.
It's just the way the cards
I'm
fell.
making my judges do it.
Yep. And it's the way the cards fell,
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Originality and creativity is the next category. All right.
Oh.
Batman has been around for years. There was another Batman cartoon before this, but this particular animated series was really the start of the successful superhero animated series. And really like almost the start of the DC universe as far as animated stuff goes. They tried it with Super Friends and it worked for a while. But then like this, because it wasn't necessarily just for kids. I mean, kids could watch it, but it also was something that teenagers and young adults could get into. So the originality there. And they did some creative stuff like with their action sequences and their battles and some of the story arcs.
Oh, for
which
sure.
We'll get into later on with episodes. SpongeBob, there was not a lot of shows about a talking sponge who lived underwater with a starfish, who had a crab as a boss, whose best friend was a squirrel and an astronaut in I call it an astronaut suit, but it's really a scuba diving suit. I know, Mom. We all want, I know people want Batman to win. But and then like the creativity, some of the stuff that SpongeBob would get into. And so like there's your creativity there. So both shows, again, as far as originality goes, SpongeBob maybe, because Batman had like other attempts in animation before, and Batman had been around for so long. But creativity Batman definitely made up for it with a lot of the action sequences and a lot of the story arcs. Eric, I'm starting with you.
I'm going Batman.
Okay.
I just liked it better.
All right. You do have to give more than that. That can't be I like it better. So that can't be your reason for picking it every time. It might be, but just come up with other stuff.
Okay.
All right. Well, while you're thinking, Sean will go to you.
I'm going to go with SpongeBob here. I can't remember the show I brought up. It was Justice League, probably. That it's not hard to make a show that has thousands of comic books written prior to it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
And SpongeBob doesn't have that.
Yeah.
It is, I guess, it is harder to figure out the everyday life of a underwater looking sponge than it is Batman.
Gotcha.
So,
All right,
don't,
Dave.
don't steal my stuff, Eric.
Well, I disagree with Sean. I picked Batman.
Okay.
I think it's to keep Batman creative. Have the storylines, the plots, the villains he's up against, and I think it's more creative to keep that interesting, keep your viewers entertained with that. SpongeBob, I think their entertainment's kind of lame.
I could say something super controversial, but I kid show.
Yeah.
Never
All
know
right.
who's watching.
All right. Eric, go ahead.
I was gonna
I mean,
say,
you already did your vote, but now that you have,
I'll put it in the chat.
I was gonna say that it set the standard for superheroes at superhero shows, so that's why I picked it, as you said earlier too. So
yeah. All right. So 2-1, Batman's in the lead. This very well could go. This very well could go 7. Sean, I'm just going to ask, what is wrong with you?
There's a lot wrong with him.
It's kind of a rhetorical question because I already know.
That's why he was late today.
Yeah.
I was late because I was watching the Buffalo Bandits win the championship.
In his defense,
I got thrown off.
Yeah, in his defense, his team was in a champion because this was a championship game, right?
Game 3 of the finals. Whoever won the championship. Yeah.
Right.
Bandits won decisively.
Okay, so it was a championship game, and when your team makes it to the championship, you get excited. You also get stupid.
But what also got me is normally their games start at 7. This one started at 4:30. So when I was watching it, I forgot that it was 4:30. So
it happens. I'm still.
But I was here. I was here on time-ish.
I'm still going to give you crap for it, but I understand that you rooting for your team. So all right, Batman's up 2-1. This very well could go 7, and a lot of people are going to sweat. I'm sure. I'd hate to have to do their laundry. But all right, characters. In SpongeBob, you have SpongeBob, Patrick, Mr. Krabs, Squidward, Plankton, who is very evil because he owns the rival fast food joint. You have Pearl, Mr. Krabs' daughter, or Mr. Krabs' daughter, also Mr. Krabs, and a bunch of other side characters who I kind of escaped, but I just kind of named like that core group of characters right there. Batman, you have Batman, Alfred, Robin when he comes in, and you have all the villains: Joker, Harley Quinn, Scarecrow, Two-Face, Riddler, Penguin, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Clayface. Just a whole plethora of characters are all on my shirt here. But
nice shirt, by the way.
Thank you. Cost me $25. Nastasol.com. They do all sorts of shirts, cartoon shirts from the 60s and the 90s.
I think I might get the
60s through the 90s.
I think I might get the shirt that wins this tournament.
Well, there you go.
Depending on who wins.
And you pick your size, you pick your type of shirt, you pick your color.
How about you do a step further? Get it tatted on you, Eric.
Right across the bum cheeks.
No.
Right across.
There's no way in hell. Oh, sorry. It's a kid show.
Oh, that's why I said bum.
I almost said the H word.
Yeah, right across the cheeks. And big letters.
I wouldn't.
Especially if it's. Yeah.
Imagine it being like Rugrats or something.
Yeah.
There's only one show in this tournament that I would not do that for.
Yeah,
This show that we're doing now.
Well, now I have a newfound motivation to make SpongeBob win.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do the show anymore. So all right.
Thanks,
But
Sean.
yeah, so on characters, there's a whole plethora of Batman, especially the villains really help make up the cast. Also, you have Commissioner Gordon, you have Harvey Bullock, you know, Raja Ghul as well, Raja's daughter Talia. So a whole plethora of characters. Sean, I'm going to start with you. Who had the better characters, SpongeBob or Batman?
I'm going to go with Batman. I think the characters were just cooler.
Yeah.
SpongeBob's, some characters were like, I don't know, they were just really dumb. Some were funny. A lot of them were really dumb.
Yeah.
Dave, are you drinking a Mountain Dew?
Yep, I know you are too.
That's my thing. Shout
I'm
out
drinking a
Mountain Dew.
Pepsi.
But yeah, no, Batman was just a lot cooler. I think because of how the show was a little more edgy.
Yeah.
It made it just more, I don't know, a lot better than watching SpongeBob.
Yeah. No, I agree. Even though I'm really not allowed to have an opinion, but I could see where you're coming from. All right. Eric?
Batman all day.
Okay.
Legendary characters. You got Joker, who has his own movie. You got Batman. All the movies of that. All the movies of Batman, Robin, legendary sidekick. Probably one of the best sidekicks. When we talk basketball, people mention Batman and Robin, a duo. So.
Yeah. And even off of
I can
Robin,
go on and on.
He has Teen Titans. Like Robin has his own type of stuff going on too.
Which, by the way, Teen Titans, I think Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go are both going to be on the draft board for the next tournament. So somebody may.
The original is way better.
Yeah. Somebody may have the pleasure of having them on in their division.
You know, they made a real action Teen Titans too, right?
Yeah, just called Titans.
Yep.
Yeah. I watched most of the first season and some of the second. Okay. So, all right, Dave, it doesn't necessarily count, but go ahead.
Batman, like Eric said. I mean, they got like some huge characters, iconic ones like Joker, Batman themselves. You know, and each villain has a great backstory. Like, it's not just like, here's the bad guy and it's all like the typical bad guy. Each of them has their own background and their own story of why they are who they are.
Yeah.
Which makes it even that much more intriguing.
I'll tell you, one of the backstories I always kind of liked was Harvey Dent's and how Harvey.
Yes, Two-Face was awesome, dude.
Right. So, and we'll get more into that in episodes. But his backstory to me, because like they preface that in the series.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, but now, all right, Batman's up 3-1. But we had somebody up 3-1 last week, and they lost. So just because you're up 3-1 doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win. I mean, it helps, but we'll see. All right. Next category is episodes. We'll talk about all the story arcs and all the backstories for the characters in Batman. Dave just mentioned it. I'm going to piggyback off it. You have Harvey Dent's, Two-Face's backstory and how it was showcased there. There's an episode I watched today where the villains that are all stuck in Arkham Asylum kidnapped the assistant district attorney, who, by the way, hated Batman. Her name was Jessica something. She hated Batman, and she actually wanted to put Batman on trial. So she was having dinner with Bruce. She has no idea that Bruce was Batman. And she got called away. Well, she got kidnapped. And then they were able to capture Batman, and they put him on trial. Harvey Dent obviously was the prosecuting attorney. Joker was the judge. And the trial was, did Batman, because the assistant district attorney kept always said, Batman made these criminals. It's Batman's fault. So they were going to put, so they put him on trial, and they made her defend him. And it's like, you have to make him not guilty if you want to survive. So, she did her best to defend him. She did not want to. And it was a great story being told. They ended up finding him not guilty, but then Joker sentenced them to death anyway. But they escaped. And she kind of half-heartedly apologized to Batman and said, I'm sorry, I misjudged you. Well, I'm sorry, you did make these criminals crazy, but I want to get this city safe enough to where we don't need you anymore. And his answer to her was, I want that too. So that was a really good episode. There's another episode where Poison Ivy created her own family, but it looked like she created them out of plants. Like she kidnapped like a science professor or something. But she made it look like she had like the all-American family and she was all reformed. But it turns out that they were made of plants, and she had kidnapped like the science professor or something and used half of his DNA to help create her new family. And then, there's another episode where Batman kind of reunites with Talia Ghul to try to find her father. There's the pilot episode with the Joker trying to trick a guy into doing a heist for him, setting a bomb off. So many good episodes, especially there's so many good story arcs in there with all the villains. SpongeBob, you have the pilot episode where he first meets Sandy Cheeks, and Sandy invites him into her home, but he realizes that her home is made entirely out of air and not water, and he dries up. You have you have so many episodes where Plankton is trying to steal the secret recipe for the Krabby Patties, including when he dressed up as Sandy he stole Sandy's skin in order to try to get that recipe, and SpongeBob fell for it. And then Sandy ended up being arrested afterwards for public nudity because she walked around without skin on, even though she saved the day. There's the episode where SpongeBob's milkshake license expired, or it hadn't been good for like 7 years. So both shows had really good episodes. Dave, I'm going to start with you this time because I don't think your vote is counted a couple times. So who gets the edge in the episodes?
I'm going to have to give that to Batman. I just thought the episodes were more entertaining and they were more watchable. Not a big fan of SpongeBob's episodes. Granted, there are a couple good ones that are entertaining and, some where they perform like little musicals or whatever. But besides that, I find SpongeBob more annoying.
Okay. Sean, I'm gonna go to you next because I know where Eric's vote is gonna lie.
I'm also got to go with Batman. I agree with Dave. SpongeBob was just more annoying than anything. The storytelling in Batman was amazing.
Yeah, it's impeccable.
Yeah. So the way they can just draw you to certain people, way better than SpongeBob.
All right, Eric, it's not gonna count, but go ahead.
Batman, because the episodes were better, the storylines were intriguing. SpongeBob, I got nothing good to say about it, but I'm not gonna say anything. So.
You're like that vengeful girl from high school who got dumped on prom night, and like sees how successful the guy is, how successful the ex is now, and you still don't want to admit it because you're just like, he broke my heart. So like, even though he could, SpongeBob can jump in a building and save 50 babies from a burning building, and you'd still call him a piece of garbage.
Yep.
Now, he can't do that because he would dry up real quick, but still. All right. Batman wins at 4-1. So the show is safe.
Yeah, I knew the only one that they would win is theme song.
Which, by the way, it actually makes sense that they won the theme song. I actually thought that they were gonna win, because Sean had a really good point early. Wait, Sean, did you say Batman for animation, or did you say SpongeBob?
Batman.
He said Batman. I said SpongeBob.
Right. Because I didn't know like if I wrote it down or not. But like, I actually thought SpongeBob was going to win the animation category too.
So did I. Besides that and the theme song, I thought Batman pretty much had it. The rest of them, yeah, in my bag.
What would you have gone for longevity?
Batman.
Cultural impact and legacy.
Batman for sure.
Yeah,
Batman. I mean, that symbol is iconic. That you see that symbol everywhere.
So, I mean, and SpongeBob may have won humor and entertainment value too, but we don't know.
I don't think it's that entertaining, so I don't think it would have.
But all right, Batman wins it 4-1.
That's why they're the 1 seed.
They are the 1 seed. Now they move on. Rugrats moves on. Now next week, obviously, next week we're taping 3 shows in one night.
Triple take.
Yeah. One of them is going to be live. The next 2 are going to be for the following 2 for the following 2 weeks because I will not be around. But next week's live show, what do you guys want to do? It's either Pokemon and Ninja Turtles or Simpsons and Kim Possible.
Simpsons and Kim Possible.
Yeah, I'd say we save Pokemon and Turtles for the last.
For the last matchup of the second round?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I think that's the biggest hitter in the second round. I say we save that for last.
And it's Doug's favorite, Riff's one of my favorites. So
yeah,
they're both really good. I enjoy both.
Yeah, it's gonna be that's gonna be interesting. And what's funny is there is a chance that Batman and Rugrats face each other in the semifinals.
Okay.
Now, how that happens is if Kim Possible beats The Simpsons next week. It might sound like a long shot, but anything's. We've proven on this show anything is possible.
Yeah.
Kim Possible, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Good one, Doug.
That is not necessarily where I was going with that, but thank you. So I mean, it is it could happen. I'm not saying it's gonna, and it might seem very unlikely. But if Kim Possible defeats The Simpsons next week, then Batman will face Rugrats in the second round. Now, if The Simpsons beats Kim Possible next week, then The Simpsons or Batman will Batman will face the Rugrats in the next round. Now, if The Simpsons beat Kim Possible, it's going to be Batman and Simpsons in the semifinals, which is going to be even tougher.
Yeah.
So, definitely. So we're going to find out next week. Well, obviously we'll find out next week if we're taping 3 shows in one. But we're going to find out during that first episode next week exactly who Batman is going to be facing in the semifinals.
Yep.
Because it's either going to be Rugrats or The Simpsons. Which either one,
It's a
I
tough
think-
matchup.
Yeah.
Tough matchup, either one.
Yeah. So, but Batman, their first time out. This was SpongeBob's third time in the tournament. But Batman first time
Finally
out.
gone.
Yeah. But then don't forget, Eric, they're going to be revived. They're on the draft board for the next tournament.
SpongeBob's coming for you, Eric.
Nuts.
Now, that doesn't mean they're going to get picked. It's going to. So, and I don't know, like, if I've like made this clear or not, but for the next tournament, like, nobody is drafting anything. We're going to have, because you see a lot of podcasts that have a wheel.
Yeah.
We've even done it on the wrestling show. We're going to have a wheel. We're going to put well, not we, I'm going to do it. We're going to put all 200 shows because we each came up with 50 cartoons. It was harder for some. And when I say some, I mean Sean.
And somewhat me.
Well, it's hard after 150 of them get picked.
Yeah. It was harder for Sean because Sean had a complete list in his head of what he was going to do.
And Eric took
we
them all.
each had to come up with 50, and Eric took about 30 of them.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Now, I did mine the easy way because obviously I submitted mine first, and also I picked some ones that I knew nobody was going to pick because I don't even think you guys have heard of half the ones, and I'm mainly talking to Sean and Eric because Dave came up with.
Wait, I picked like 5 of yours, remember?
Yeah, but like they had to use books that I gave them for reference.
Mhm.
But it was extremely difficult for Sean because Eric picked most of his. And by the way, it is very hard when you have to pick 50 cartoons and 150 of them have already been taken.
Well, granted, only 100 because I picked more anime.
Yeah. Well, you picked all anime because you even asked me, you said, is there like a limit of anime I can pick? And knowing how hard it was going to be for Bert and Ernie over here,
Mhm.
how hard it was going to be for them to come up with stuff, I was just like, pick as much anime as you want. And I figured you were going to go all anime, which is what
Yep,
you did.
I went nuts with it.
Yeah, which I'm kind of glad you did because that made things a little easier for Eric. Not necessarily for Sean because Sean submitted his last.
Yep.
Have any of you guys started watching any of the stuff on the list?
Not yet.
Not yet.
So my thing is, and there's actually some because some of the stuff's actually available on Pluto. Like, so I could start doing that. I still have to download Crunchyroll on my phone.
What's Crunchyroll?
That's the app where you can watch like anime and stuff
Yeah.
for free.
Oh, okay.
There's a few shows that are on that list that are anime you have to
Yeah.
watch there.
Hulu and Netflix has a each has a small selection. Hulu has a little better selection than Netflix does, though. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So
But Crunchyroll is pretty good, and I mean,
now, how
I
much
don't
do you have to pay for that, Dave?
know. There's a premium version of Crunchyroll, but you can download Crunchyroll and watch most of the stuff for free.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you only can download it on your phone or device.
No, you could
Can you
you
download
could
it on
download it
TV?
on whatever. It's an app, so
Yeah. So I still got to do that. There's a lot of these that I still have to watch, and some of them that are not available on streaming services, you could go on the Internet Archive and find everything too.
and I might have premium, so if I do, I could share that with you guys, so that way you would have access to everything too.
Aw.
So
You can have a watch party.
Yeah.
Is
We're
it
one big happy family.
is it on a smart TV? I don't know.
who mine? I watch it on TV, but I have it downloaded on my
Oh no,
Xbox.
he's asking like if you can get if the app is like installed on like a smart TV.
Oh, I'm not sure. You would have to check. I haven't done that myself, so
You
I
said you
couldn't
haven't.
let you
I
know.
wonder if it's on the PlayStation.
Yeah,
I
definitely,
think it is.
definitely. I have it
think
on
it
my
is.
Xbox, so
Oh,
I mean, I'm just gonna do it on my phone and then just
Yeah.
cast it up here and watch all this stuff. I'm kind of waiting to see how much of the stuff gets picked. Well, first of all, it's going to depend on a couple things. One, it's going to depend on how many people we get,
Yeah.
because that's going to depend how many shows are in each division. And two, it's going to depend on how many shows are used. Because if we have, let's say, all right, so I think I said that if we get 10 people, it's going to be 10 shows in each division or each team or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
So that's 100 shows right there. Now, if we get, my goal is to try to get 25 people, so we can have like really small divisions, like they do in football.
right.
I don't know if we can do that, or if we're able to do that or not. I know I'm going to try to recruit people. I think once
I know people that are interested as well. Quite
Okay.
like a nice handful.
All right, well, bring them in. Like I said, we can start the recruiting process tomorrow.
Roger that.
But yeah, because I know, Dave, you've been working overtime trying to get people to subscribe to the channel, and I appreciate that. I appreciate all the hard work everybody does on this show.
aw.
You got to send me the names of the two that won for next tournament so I can make the intros.
Oh, the show names?
Yeah, I'll make two separate ones so they're different from each other.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's going to be, because we're going to make it because this next tournament is going to be pretty big. But like I said, we're going to kind of shorten it up a little bit. So like when the divisions have to face each other, like the cartoons in the division, all in the one division, all have to face each other. It's just going to be like one big battle royal type thing. So we can shorten it up a little bit. And plus, I'm still kind of working on it, or still trying to think of maybe like if a show, because again, if a show is swept in a matchup, they're going to lose 10 points.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm almost thinking of doing like elimination, but I kind of want to see like there's certain shows I really want to see like go against each other, because there's a lot of shows that we have all picked to where it's just like they don't stand a chance.
Well, I there's a couple in mind that are like I haven't watched, so I'm not sure. But most of the ones I picked, I feel they all have a good chance.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, and that's why having anime involved is different, because it's just like that's a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys aren't too familiar. Like, have you guys watched a lot of anime? Like, like I know you guys watch cartoons, so that's basically anime. But like Japanese anime.
No.
So
No.
as far as anime I have watched, it like Pokemon, Samurai
Pokemon's the only
Pikachu,
one.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Like I watched a little bit of Dragon Ball Z back in the day.
Pokemon's the only anime.
I can't wait for you guys to watch some of these. If you guys like good stories and plots,
Yeah.
you're gonna love this.
like and I'm willing to do it. If I wasn't, then we wouldn't have
for
picked.
sure.
I wouldn't have said, hey, go ahead and pick 50 or whatever. But it's just to give some of these a fighting chance. And even Sean picked. Didn't you pick like 5 or 10 anime?
Yeah, I did like Rick and Morty, the anime, because it is different from
I
Rick
picked
and
one.
Morty. I don't know. I mean, if you count those as anime, there is a couple
you did a couple of them, right? Because I think.
Oh, I did, because they came from Danielle, the shows that she watches. So,
Would you guys ever go to like a convention?
An
Like,
anime convention?
Yeah. Or
it's
like a cartoon anime convention.
I've gone to toy conventions before. I want to go to. They have a thing out here, like 40 minutes away from here, called RetroCon every September, and I wanted to go last year, and we had a plan to go, but my check engine light in my car kept coming on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because they have like all sorts of like celebrity guests. They were doing a big thing for like it's not just like cartoons and like toy, like they sell like action figures and stuff there.
Right.
But they have like cartoon like voiceover artists. They have like other special celebrities. Like a couple guys from Happy Days were there last year. This year, one of the Power Rangers is going to be there.
Ooh,
That's pretty cool.
I'd like to go to like a gaming convention.
I want to go to a sports
Or
convention.
a card trading one.
Yeah.
A card trading one would be sweet. I have a ton of Pokemon cards.
Yeah. Well,
have
let's see if
sports cards
it's
too?
Buffalo one day, Dave. Me and you will go. I don't have any cards, but I'll go.
I'll give you a couple. So you could trade.
Do trade ups.
Yep, trade up.
Right,
You should go
trade
to one, Doug.
Yeah.
What,
I want to go to an anime convention too. I think that would be pretty sweet and dress up a little bit.
I know they got a convention coming up at the end of the month. I think Niagara Falls is doing an anime convention. I keep getting an email for it.
That or Rochester. I keep seeing stuff pop up for Rochester too.
So, and I know
Is there any coming in summer, Doug?
what here?
Yeah.
Just RetroCon in September.
Okay.
I know Buffalo's got one coming up in a couple, like next month. They have Nickel City Comic Con, which they got a crap ton of guests already announced for that.
That's cool.
I would say we should do a road trip to Buffalo, but that's too far.
Well, yeah, too far for you.
It's 30 minutes for me.
I mean,
I can be there quick soon.
I mean,
Me and Shaw go together. Pilot.
How
don't know
how
if you
long
wanna
does
be
it
in
take
the
you guys
car
to get
for-
to Buffalo? 7 hours?
About 6.5, 7 hours.
Jeez, you guys, what? You
That's
guys live
bad.
towards the city or something?
no, outside the city.
Outside of New York City?
No, we're in Philadelphia.
Oh, Philly? Oh, geez, way down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Figured. I should have figured you guys were in Philly because Eric loving Philadelphia.
Yeah, no, we're in. We're both in Philadelphia. I mean, obviously, I'm from.
Yeah, I thought you lived up here because you're from up here, so that's why
Right.
I assumed where you lived.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be there. I'll be in town in July
Okay.
for like a week.
Oh, nice.
Got any specific plans, or you just coming up to hang
Just
out?
coming
Visit?
up. My brother and I are coming up. We're not bringing Mindy this time, which she doesn't know unless she's watching the show right now. So Sean's free of that.
Does she watch the show?
I don't know.
Pretty
But
sure she's preoccupied with some other stuff.
you know about what's been going on, right?
Yeah.
Mom tell you, or did she?
Your mom told me, and then she told me. So
Yeah. So you.
fully aware.
All right, good. But but yeah, so so we'll be up, or my brother and I will be up sometime in July. And my mom lives like right down the street from Sean, so
Literally.
yeah. But yeah, so all right, so next week the live episode is going to be Simpsons and Kim Possible. Again, the big stakes for that are if Kim Possible wins, then the stakes are mainly big for Batman. Because if Kim Possible wins, Batman faces Rugrats in the semifinals. If the Simpsons win, then it's Simpsons and Batman in the semifinals in a matchup where I think a lot of people are going to be like, well, this should be a final. Well, it's not going to be. It's going to be in the semifinal.
Yes, sir.
But that's next week. Again, follow Dave on Twitch, TCAX Godsend 95, Sean on TCAX Reaper on YouTube and Twitch,
And TikTok.
Also, congratulations to the Buffalo Bandits for three-peating. You got a devoted young man there as a fan. Who
Just trying to make the team.
yeah.
I'll get paid $10,000 to sit on the bench. I don't care.
Yeah.
Shit.
Unscripted sports show, the Stabcast, Wrestling Through the Years. Those are our other programs. Make sure to like, subscribe to the When Tunes Combine, Unscripted Sports Show, Stabcast, and Wrestling Through the Years channels. This upcoming Friday night on Wrestling Through the Years, we're going to be doing a wrestling theme song tournament. So everybody watch out for that. And then in the coming weeks, or probably starting like tomorrow, I'm going to start, we're going to start reaching out to people, try to get them hooked up for the next tournament, which again, you don't have to do anything except for say that you're in, and then you could possibly win a $100 Amazon gift card. But all right.
Just hit those comments, hit
Yeah.
like, hit subscribe, and say you want in.
Yeah. All you got to do is just tell us that you're in, and then we take care of the rest for you. And we won't screw it up too bad. But all right. So we'll see everybody next week for Kim Possible and The Simpsons. Eric, you'll take care of the shorts, please.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. All right. Later.
Bye, boys.
Later.